What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Plus Money Sports Betting Podcast. My name is Q. You can follow me across those socials at Bets by Q. As always, this show is sponsored by Black Sheep Betting, where it is a dog's world. You will find two links in the description. One is for the VIP. That's where I drop all of my official plays. It's really designed and built for disciplined bettors with consistent unit sizes that are focused on long-term value and month-over-month profit. Okay, not a lot of parlays, no lottos, or 10 to 10K challenges, none of that nonsense. I think those bets are fun to make, but they are not profitable in the long term. All right. The second link is for our free Discord chat hosted by my boy Will from the Double Fault Tennis Podcast. It's a place to hang out, share your bets, celebrate wins, cope with the losses. We're building a winning community over there, nearly 8,000 people in the community, and it's completely free to join, okay? I'm usually in the tennis channel late at night and early on in the morning. So if you listen to this podcast, come check in on the Discord because I will have a play in the 11 a.m. hour for the tennis slate today. Okay, let's recap yesterday. I went 1-3. Okay, one winner. It was a nice one. Oilers on the puck line plus 175. They handed the Rangers their third straight shutout at home. Ouch. I mean, not a great start to the year for the Rangers. It is early. But like I said, I don't have high expectations for this team. Oilers win 2-0. We win our bet. Okay. Brings us to 2-5 on the week. It's not the start that we wanted, but it's hump day. We've got a clean slate, 4 plays that I like. Let's steady the ship, get this back to even. You know the drill. Slow, discipline, plus money where it fits, and value first. All right. Play number 1, going to the ALCS Game 3. Huge game here. Toronto rolls into Seattle, down 0-2. Maximum leverage, maximum nerves here. And that's where managers go to quick hooks and matchup-heavy bullpen usage. We're at T-Mobile Park, one of the most run-suppressing parks in baseball. Heavy air. The backdrop turns loud contact into warning track flyouts, and the rallies just seem to kind of fizzle out. Layer in the pitching matchup today. I think it's a great one. Shane Bieber versus Logan Gilbert. This is the exact spot Toronto went out and got Bieber for. His nasty, pitch combos, the command, the profile travels. I expect the slider change blueprint to hunt for whiffs and get soft contact, keep the ball in play and in the ballpark, which is easy to do here in Seattle. On the other side, we have Logan Gilbert. He's already shown in the ALDS that he can give Seattle 2 clean trips through the order. So if the slider isn't A+, they can bridge straight to the rested, leveraged bullpen arms. And given the series state and the travel reset, I think both managers are incentivized to, choke off the traffic early. So I'm going to play 2 plays here, okay? We're going to wager a total of 1.5 units in this game. The first bet is going to be the under 3.5 first 5 innings. It's plus 100. We're going to have 1 unit on the first 5, under 3.5. I'm going to isolate Bieber and Gilbert, avoid the pinch hit chaos, stay out of the full bullpen carousel. I've got this game living in that 5-6 total run pocket. The first 5, I feel, is the cleanest window. So we're going to wager our 1 unit on the first 5 under 3.5 plus 100. I'm also going to play the full game under 7 for a half unit. As I said, I've got this at like a 5-6 run game. This is a bit lighter than the first 5 because the variance creeps in the later that I guess the longer that the game goes on. Pinch hitters, short stint relievers, leverage mixing that can create one-word ending that blows everything up in our space. But the number at 7 gives us push protection. And the way that these teams are likely to manage crooked numbers should be hard to come by. If we land 4-3, we get our money back. I got this as a 3-2, 3-1 game, maybe even lower than that. Okay, so 1 unit on the first 5, under 3.5, plus 100. Half unit on the full game under 7. It's minus 105. Shop around. You can find a good number on that play. Okay, play number 3. Gonna shift to the NHL. Calgary at Utah. This is a textbook system play, okay? In sports like baseball, in sports like hockey, there are going to be system plays. Yeah, I don't bet NBA, but NBA also has a lot of these system plays as well, okay? One of the most profitable spots in tennis over the last few years has been the more rested home team. I'm going to say it again. The team that is more rested and are hosting their opponents. Calgary played last night. Now they skate into, across the lake, I guess, and into higher altitude. Utah has been waiting at home with fresh legs for 2 days now. That's the profile that's been profitable for bettors over the last few years in the NHL. Talent gaps in hockey, they're thinner than what people think. It's the fatigue tax that really separates these outcomes. I want to find the number for you here, but in a nutshell, those teams that are more rested at home are 468 and 319, with the return of 60 units, 7.7% ROI. I mean, it's really one of those plays where you just have to lock in, you have to play it. The goalies here in Utah, it's either going to be Vegemelka, likely going to be Vegemelka because we're coming off the rest spot. And if it's Vegemelka, we're going to get big, dynamic, first save athleticism. He can swallow the rush looks, those transition plays that seem to get pretty chaotic. He lets those fresh legs, and he's going to clear out the crumbs, okay? If it's Vanacek in that, it's going to be a calmer, more positional read, predictable lanes for arrested D to box out, play downhill in front of him. But I do think we're going to get Vegemelka in here, which I think obviously is the better matchup regardless, okay? Across the rink, we're going to get either Dustin Wolf or Devin Cooley on short rest. Wolf is a bit twitchy, explosive on that first shot, but second looks become a problem when the blue line is heavy-legged. And that's exactly what back-to-back travel spots in altitude can create. Heavy legs, fatigue, and then if it's Cooley in net, the reason why we don't know who's in net right here is because the morning skate hasn't happened yet. Last person off on the ice of the morning skate is normally who the goalie is. I'll be keeping tabs on the NHL and have a good idea of who should be in that, given, situational spots. It's very similar to like a pitching rotation, with the exception of that there's only really 2 goalies that they're going to be alternating in between. You'll have your main goalie that goes, 3-4 games, and then you'll have your backup that comes in, gives him a little bit of rest. But if it's Cooley in net for Calgary, he's a bit bigger framed, limited sample profile. He gets stress tested by Utah. Here, I believe if he gets to start, especially in front of the net, and then you add in, Utah's recent form against Calgary here. Now, Utah, they used to be the Arizona Coyotes, right? Now they're the Utah Mammoth. Not a big fan of the name, but they've won their last 2 against Calgary by multiple goals. They're coming off a loss, classic bounce back spot at home where pace and structure usually snaps back into place. Calgary basically emptied the tank last night. Utah's rested at home in altitude with the crease options that pair well with fresh legs. I'm going to take Utah minus 1.5 on the puck line, plus 120 for 1 unit. Trust the system, trust the altitude, trust the legs. All right. Play number 4. College football. UTEP versus Sam Houston State. UTEP, I believe, is a slight favorite here, but the total is set to 47.5. I got to close the card here with betting the under 47.5 in this game. Key numbers that we talked about in the NFL don't really translate necessarily to college football for various reasons, but this is a very ugly midweek game. It's got nastiness written all over it. UTEP still has a lot of questions at quarterback. In fact, going into this game, we're not entirely sure who is going to be starting at quarterback. If a team has two quarterbacks, they have no quarterback. Okay. But the defense has been the story here. They get after the QB. They pile up tackles for losses, and holding up really series after series. They've basically been an under team all year, averaging under 19 points themselves on offense, however. Sam Houston hasn't looked that much better offensively, sitting around 17 points per game. And, their defense has been a little bit leaky at time, but I do think just given the competition, their defense is a little bit better. Their tempo and efficiency hasn't, shown any real ability to push the pace offensively or, pull this into a shootout. So I don't think that that's, necessarily what's going to happen. I think that this is a very modest number when it comes to the total. My model sits this at a little bit closer to 44 total points. Neither team has cleared 47.5 really all season, despite one or two games. So the read is simple here. Two defensive leaning teams, two like mediocre, not very potent offenses. And then, obviously we have the inconsistent QB situation with UTEP. A number that feels a touch too high for how these programs want to play. Final play under 47.5 in the UTEP versus Sam Houston game. We're going to go 1 unit on this, okay? Expect field goals, long drives that stall, and a lot of punts, not fireworks, okay? 4 plays on the board today, okay? We are going to bet the Toronto-Seattle first 5 under 3.5 plus 100. We have 1 unit on that play. We are also on the full game under 7 for half of a unit at minus 105. We are also on the Utah Mammoth to cover the puck line minus 1.5 plus 120 against the Calgary Flames at home. And of course, we're on the UTEP versus Sam Houston under 47.5. Also 1 unit on that play. Okay, we're 2-5 on the week. Got 4 plays on the board today, 3.5 plays in motion. I'm looking to chip back the right way. Disciplined exposure, numbers that we like, and value first. Good luck tonight. I'll be back tomorrow with more plus money plays. As always, you can follow me on all socials at BetsByQ. Hope to see you in the free chat with my boy Will. And if you're looking for those disciplined long-term profits, check out the VIP link in the description. As always, I'll be back here tomorrow. And I hope each and every one of you hit each and every one of your bets. Appreciate you for tuning in. Peace.